Have you ever thought that the relationship you value so much could be hanging by a thread? What if I told you that, without realizing it, you could be making mistakes that are leading your relationship straight to the end? Many men think that everything is under control until the day they hear from their partners, "I don't know if it's worth it anymore." This moment comes as a shock, but most of the time, the signs were there all along, they just ignored them. Let me tell you the story of Ricardo. He was 52 years old and had been married for over 20 years. For years, he believed that his marriage was solid. But little by little, his wife started to distance herself. At first, he thought it was just tiredness. Then he thought it was a phase. The problem? He didn't realize that every silence she gave him was a cry for attention. When she finally said she wanted a divorce, he tried to make up for lost time. But it was too late. What about you? Are you waiting for that point to come? Or are you willing to act now to save and strengthen your relationship? If you want to avoid this fate, stick with me until the end, because I'm going to show you the essential steps to transforming your relationship. It's not too late, but you need to act now. 1. Stop comparing yourself to the past. Imagine that you buy a new car. It's different from your old one, with a more modern dashboard, a powerful engine, and a unique design. But every time you get in it, you complain because your old one had a bigger glove compartment or a different seat. You never really enjoy the new experience because you're stuck in the past. Now, swap the car for your relationship. If you're constantly comparing your current partner to someone from the past, you're undermining any chance of happiness. Imagine a couple in a restaurant. The man looks at his partner and instead of enjoying her company, he thinks, "My ex used to laugh at my jokes," or "My ex was more affectionate." This type of thinking not only prevents you from connecting with the person next to you, it also creates an invisible wall between you. Each person is unique, with their own qualities and flaws. What worked in a previous relationship may not be ideal for your current relationship. The important thing is not who is better, but whether you are willing to build something new with that person. In addition, when you constantly compare, your partner notices. She may not say anything at first, but over time, this feeling of never being good enough wears down any relationship. Instead of focusing on what is behind you, focus on what you can create in the present. Relationships are like untold stories, and yours can only be written if you stop reliving old chapters. If you keep looking in the rearview mirror, you will never see the path ahead. 2. Don't carry old traumas and hurts. Think of a backpack full of rocks. Each hurt, each disappointment, and each betrayal from the past adds more weight. At first, you can even carry it, but after a while, this burden stops you from moving forward. You get tired, you feel pain, and you start to slow down, making each step a sacrifice. Now, imagine that you are walking towards a new destination, a healthy and happy relationship. But instead of enjoying the journey, you are so overwhelmed by the weight of past experiences that you can barely see the path. Your fear of getting hurt again prevents you from trusting, and your insecurity causes you to build walls where you should be building bridges. Many men enter new relationships with distrust, believing that all women are the same. They close themselves off, avoid giving themselves over, and create emotional barriers. The problem? This doesn't stop the pain from happening again, it just stops happiness from arriving. The only way to move forward is to empty that backpack. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting, but rather freeing yourself from the weight that prevents you from experiencing something new. Forgiveness is not a gift to the person who hurt you, but rather an act of self-love. Holding on to resentment is like holding hot coals waiting for the other person to get burned. In the end, the only one who gets hurt is you. Ask yourself, do you want to carry this burden for the rest of your life, or do you want to walk lightly towards a better future? The choice is in your hands. Here is the revised text with more details and storytelling for the third topic. See if it is more engaging for your audience. 3. Fear of opening yourself up to new experiences. Imagine a fisherman who spent years fishing in the same lake. He knew the best spots, the right times, and the foolproof techniques. But one day, the lake dried up. The water simply disappeared, leaving only cracked earth where there had once been plenty. Instead of looking for another lake or exploring the sea, he decided he would never fish again. The frustration of losing something familiar prevented him from seeing that there were other places waiting to be discovered. This happens to many men who, after a failed relationship, close themselves off to new experiences. They believe that if they have suffered once, they will inevitably suffer again. The fear of failure keeps them stuck in the past, as if avoiding a new relationship was the only way to protect themselves from pain. But does this really protect anyone? Think of a traveler who gets lost on the way. He can choose to never leave home again for fear of making another mistake, or he can learn from his mistakes and continue his journey with more wisdom. Love works the same way. Every experience teaches you something new about yourself, about the other person, and about what you really want in a relationship. If you remain trapped in fear, you are depriving yourself of incredible stories. You are rejecting opportunities for happiness because of old pains. Ask yourself, do you want to spend the rest of your life mourning a dry lake or open yourself to new seas of possibilities? The only way to find out what awaits you is to take the next step. 4. Trying to change the other person. Imagine that you buy a sophisticated watch, full of functions that you have never used before. At first, it seems complicated, but that does not mean that it is wrong, just different from what you are used to. Instead of learning how it works, you try to disassemble it to adjust it to your own way. What happens? You may end up ruining the mechanism. The same thing happens in a relationship. When you enter a relationship expecting to change the other person, you miss the chance to appreciate who they really are. You get frustrated because she doesn't act the way you want her to, and she feels suffocated by trying to fit into a mold that isn't hers. Happy relationships aren't those where one tries to change the other, but rather where both learn to value differences. The more you try to force someone to be something they're not, the more resistance and distance you create. Love is about accepting, learning, and growing together, not trying to fit the other into a predefined mold. If you want a strong relationship, start by respecting the individuality of the person by your side. After all, if you want to be accepted for who you are, you need to be willing to do the same. 5th, don't let the romance die. Think of a garden. At first, you water it, fertilize it, and take care of it with love. But after a while, you start to neglect it. The flowers wither, the leaves dry up, and the garden loses its beauty. Romance in a relationship works the same way. Small gestures make all the difference. A loving note, a sincere compliment, an unexpected surprise. Love doesn't die for lack of feeling, but for lack of care. Do you want your relationship to flourish, or would you rather watch it dry up over time? 6th, don't forget to take care of yourself. Have you ever seen someone try to fill a glass with an empty jug? If you don't take care of yourself, you won't have anything to offer the other person. Taking care of your health, maintaining your interests, and continuing to grow as an individual are essential to maintaining a healthy relationship. Self-confidence and personal well-being make you a more present, balanced, and interesting partner. When you value yourself, your partner values you too. Invest in yourself and watch your relationship thrive. 7th, don't let communication die. Think of an old radio. At first, the sound comes out clean and clear, but if you don't adjust the frequency, it starts to fail until only noise remains. Communication is what keeps a relationship in tune. Many couples stop talking about their feelings, problems, and even simple everyday things. The result? Emotional distance grows until one day it seems like there is no longer any connection. The solution? Keep the channel open. Talk, listen, understand. Strong relationships are built on dialogue, understanding, and empathy. Now that you know what may be putting your relationship at risk, it's time to act. Don't wait until you lose it to realize the value of what you have. If you want to transform your relationship and strengthen the bond with your partner, start implementing these changes today. And if you like this content and want more valuable tips, subscribe to the channel and keep following. Your relationship deserves this care.